Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to explain or answer one of the comment in one of our video about XSD file. We have this video attribute and restrictions in XML schema definition file or the XSD file, and that comment, it's more of a request, I guess. I want to state an attribute which is text only and is 3 small letters. But before I answer this or I provide the correct code for this, if you are not yet subscribed in this channel, please do subscribe. Hit also the notification bell so that you will be notified of our latest video. Hit also the like button and share it with your friends. And so this video, attributes and restrictions in XML schema definition file, if you have not watched this, please do watch it. And there was this comment here stating that it wanted to state an attribute which is text only and is 3 small letters. So this means that my understanding here is that you will have an attribute for an XML element or an element, and then that attribute will have a text only value and it will be limited to 3 small letters. Okay, so if that is what you wish for, if that is what you want to do, then that is simple to answer, or simple only. And so actually I already have that solution, and if you will see our example, I'm just going to use the same example I used in that video. And so here it is. Actually, we will just be using this one here. We can just use the pattern right here. Okay, so we can use the small letters, this one here. This is exactly the answer. But this time, you will not be putting this in an element. This time, you will be placing this for an attribute. And so, let's have it. For instance, I'm just going to continue the same XML file and the XSD file we have used in that video. And so, we have this, our XML. And let's say we have here depth code. All right, I'm just going to add like this. So it will be an attribute for the element name. And so the value will be ABC. And so there will be an attribute, it's called depth code. And the value will be text characters only. That means only letters and are small letters. And at the same time, up to 3 letters only. So this is what I understand about this. And so let's try to answer it. Let's continue it. So we have a depth code here, attribute depth code with a value of ABC. And we will limit the value of depth code to 3 letters only, small letters. And it should be, the length is 3 characters only. And so, like I said, we already answered that. But that answer, or that particular explanation, was explained for code. I mean, for the code element here. If I'm not mistaken, let me see again the code. Yeah, here. This here. All right. But it is for an element. So this time we will do it for an attribute. So basically, it's just the same. So if we will, again, this is just, I'm just going to use the same XML and XSD file that I used in that video. Once again, if you are not yet, or if you did not yet watch this video about attributes and restrictions in XSD file, please do watch it so that you will better understand what I am talking about here. It discusses about restrictions that you can apply in an XML document. And so let's continue. And so again, depth code is an attribute of name element. So it has 1, 2, and 3 now. 3 attributes. So we have already defined that in the XSD file here. And so we have here for the address, this is it. And then for the age, this is it. All right. So this time we will be using, or we will be defining the depth code, which is an attribute. And so I will just copy this. We will just add it there. All right. Again, it is under the element name here. Our element name is name. And so it will have 3 attributes now. And so the third one will be the depth code. I will just change this, depth code. There you go. All right. So once again, I just copied this so that I will not type anymore. So we can save some time. So, and then I'll just put it here. I pasted it here and then just change this name here, which is depth code. Okay. So simple type again, restrictions. This time, restriction element, this time it will be string. The base type is string because it will be having small letters, 3 small letters only. That will be the value. It will be restricted to that values only, or to those values only. So, and then this time, I'm not going to use total digits, but instead I'm going to use pattern. Okay, and the value will be, like I said, we will be using from A to Z or Z, and we have only 3 characters. Again, the 3 here would simply mean that that's the maximum characters that you can assign for this attribute name depth code. And what are the characters? From A to Z or A to Z. Any combination of 3 small letters. That's the meaning of this. So again, you will just put this pattern inside the restriction. Okay, so the only difference between this attribute value and, for instance, for this element is that in attribute value, you have to specify attribute and then followed by a simple type and then your restriction. Whereas in a simple element like this, for example, here in this code here, so as you can see here, this one here. So you have to define the element name, simple type, and then the restriction. So basically it's the same, just the only difference is that the other one is on an element, this one here, and the other one will be on an attribute. So it will be like this. And so when we save this, all right, and then we will validate now here, right? So it is still valid. That's how it is. Okay, so let's try it. For instance, I will be having a value of ABC1. All right, so let's validate now. It will become invalid simply because there is a 1 there. All right, so the character 1 or the number 1 is there. According to the restriction, it should be any 3 characters, but these 3 characters should be from A to Z characters only. Any combination of that will do. For instance, let's change it to CAD. Will this be good? Okay, let's try to find out. It should be good, as you can see. Okay, if you try to put, let's say, capital letter, and try to verify it or validate it, then it will still be wrong because, I mean, it will it will not follow the restriction, simply because according to the restriction, it should be any 3 letters, and these 3 letters will be from A to Z. Okay, so any small letters. So it will be like that. Okay, now as you can see, in our second use of the name element here, it doesn't have a depth code. Again, why? Simply because we did not put a required here on line 29 here. So there is no required here. That means it is optional. So you may or you may not put the depth code attribute. Okay, so that's why here on our second use of the name, here on our second record, it doesn't have a depth code and it's still valid. Okay, now if we will require that depth code for each of our record now, so we can say use equal required. Okay, so if we will validate now here in our, if we will validate now our XML file, then we will have an error and it says attribute depth code is required but missing. That's the meaning of that. So we have to put here depth code equal, let's say DEF, right? So let's validate now, and there you go, it's now valid. Okay, so once again, if you did not put this use equal required, if you did not declare it here, that means it is optional whenever you for this depth code. This depth code is optional, that's what I meant. Okay, so I hope I was able to answer that comment. Let's put it in a different simple one. Let's say here, I have another example. It's a simple example here. Let's say here it is. It's the same actually, but I just make it a little bit small or short XML file. So as you can see, we have here age and depth code, and so it will just be the same. So as you can see, we have to define first the record, this one here, and then it has 2 children, name and company. So we have here the name and then the company. The company is only a simple element, so it will only become like this, as you can see here. All right, so let's go back to the name, element name. As you can see, it will be like this. So there are 2 attributes, age and depth code. So we have here for the age and we have here for the depth code. So whether it is for attribute or whether it is for an element like this, okay, for instance like this here, as you can see here, so you can just use the pattern restriction. So as you can see here in our example here. So I hope I was able to answer your question, right? This one here, it's more of a request, I think, okay, by admin, all right? The name is admin, the last name is admin, I guess, so I guess this is your pseudonym or code name. Okay, I hope I was able to answer your request. And again, to our subscribers or to my subscribers, if you have a question on any of our video, just post your question or request in the comment section below, and I will be able to I will try my best to create an answer for that using a video also. If it is possible for me to type only the answer, the answer, then I will just be typing it in the comment section below. Okay, so once again, if you are not yet subscribed in this channel, please do subscribe. Hit also the notification bell so that you will be updated on our latest video. Hit also the like button And please share this video to your friends who would like to know about XML. Thank you very much for watching and see you on the next video.